Hi, I'm Dr. Marc Reynolds, and I'm going to teach you how to sing and perform more like the top artists around the world. Today we're going to learn from Miss Diana Ankudinova singing Dernière Danse. Here we go. Okay, I know she hasn't made a sound yet, but want to point out the series of events here. She's ready before she goes on stage. She's getting to position. She's getting relaxed. She's getting to that moment. She walks on stage with a big smile, greeting the audience. Before the song starts, she's already getting in character. And before she's even sung a first note, you can look at her face. She's there. She's in this character. That's a really important sequence of events. If any one of those pieces are missing when you're in a concert, when you're presenting a song all by itself, or in a concert with a bunch of other people, it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't work. So, excellent.
Прикольно.
Вот так.
Je déambule dans le métro, dernière danse, pour oublier ma peine immense. Je veux m'offrir que tu recommences, oh ma douce souffrance.
Okay, love how clean, pure, authentic this sound is. It sounds like a real person singing. It's got so much nuance and expressiveness in it, though. So much vulnerability. And her head is down. Usually that's a big no-no in that we don't want to cut our audience off, but this is the character. And I get that from performers all the time. Well, I thought you said I wasn't supposed to do that. Well, or they'll hear, well, I had someone tell me not to do that. Well, it all comes down to, what is the person saying this song doing? What would a real person saying this song do? And that's really the question here. And I think this fits so gorgeously. Love it. The reason the smile at the beginning is so important is because then when she does something like this, we don't think it's a nervous performer. We know that she, as a real person, is okay, comfortable, and happy doing this performance. So that when it becomes song time, we know that everything that we see is part of what belongs to the song, the words, the character, that moment. So what's going through the minds of the judges? I don't know. But I can imagine, at least one of the things that I can imagine going through their mind is, this is a great sound. It's easy. It's consistent. I can see the sound being sustainable. The second thing that I could imagine with their mind is it's unique. This is a unique sound. If I heard this sound anywhere, I was walking down a street, if I knew her voice, I would recognize it immediately. And if I didn't, I would stop and think, who's that? That's huge. In a society where we're putting so much music out, there's so many artists, the idea of having a unique voice and a unique sound is really important. It's important because listeners are looking for someone who's unique, who's going to make them think and feel different, we're novelty junkies as humans. So this is also really important. Then the other big thing that I think is going on in their minds here that I think got this last button pushed was she's communicating. She's not performing. She's not singing. That is not their primary objective of this person in front of us. Those are all tools that she's using to communicate with us and to tell us a story. that mindset of going from singing just being a tool, just being a means to an end and not the end itself, acting, performing, all these things that we work on, they're just tools, just things that we need to work on, be proficient at, explore with, be creative with. But ultimately, if we're not trying to communicate something, not trying to tell a story, not trying to convince someone, not trying to share something with someone, then it's like trying to build a piece of furniture that has no function, that you don't even know what you're planning on doing with it. You're just swinging with a hammer and nails and wood and hoping something turns out. You might be really good at swinging that hammer with those nails, with that wood, but if you don't have a purpose behind it, if there isn't that ultimate goal to produce something of value, then yeah, it could be just beauty. That's valuable, true, but there's something more here that she has in spades. And I think that is her ability to communicate and to tell a story and to reach that audience in a really potent, dramatic, and authentic way. Okay. The other thing here is, yes, to hear a girl of this age have such a rich, low, full, easy sound, whew, it's gorgeous. It is something exceptional there. Yes, there's all kinds of arguments online, both with Dimash and with Diana, can anyone learn to do this or can anyone not? That's fine. Argue all you want. My experience tells me that no, not anyone can make this sound. Not anyone can sing like Dimash. There are lots of things we can learn and techniques we can learn that will help us sound more like them, help us perform more like them. But these are some pretty unique sounds. You're watching these judges react, and often they've heard a lot of different singers, and they're hearing something really unique there. And if it's something that everyone could do, I don't want to suggest that not everyone can learn to sing beautifully. I believe everyone can learn to sing beautifully. I've worked with tone deaf singers who, when they first walk in the studio, I think are hopeless. And after weeks and weeks of work, years of work, they sing gorgeously and do really well in competitions and auditioning for colleges and getting scholarships and getting professional roles. This happens. But there is something to physiology. There is something towards natural inclination and personality and all kinds of other factors that go into this, where if we had millions of years, if we had 100 years, 200 years, maybe we could work on all those elements and get them together, and maybe we could rival some of the people who seem to get it at such a young age and get it so quickly and have all these just amazing things coming out with so few years. But we don't. So, is there kind of this really magical mix sometimes of personality, physiology, aptitude, interest, ability, work ethic, and emotional health, vivid imagination, all these different characteristics that kind of go together and find themselves in one person that make for an amazing performer? Yes. Do I think she seems to have them all? Yeah, I think she's pretty exceptional here. Final thing I want to point out here, just like the beginning, the ending's also really crucial. The audience all applauded. She got 4 buzzers. She's ready to rock and roll. Does she break character? No. Does she all of a sudden at the very end of the song break character? No. She actually holds it for a little bit. The rule I give my singers is count a full measure after the music is stopped to then release your character. If you'll do that, then it is so much more powerful for the audience. They get so much more excited. They're able to process it, think about it. They're able to really believe that you had this moment. Where if you snap out of it like that, it just kind of ruins it and it doesn't feel as genuine and authentic. What I love is watching these judges' faces and they're just blown away. They don't even know what to make of this voice. I don't know what to make of this voice when I hear it. And this is my second reaction video on watching her. And I mentioned before that I wasn't sure how much was being added by the mic or not. I don't mean to say that they are heavily editing what's going on. I don't mean to say that she's lip syncing. That's not it at all. I realize that she's singing live here in this performance. But even if we're listening to a video of a performance where there's no mic, there's still a mic in the camera that's picking up that sound and modifying it somehow. It's not the same as live sound. So without hearing a voice live with no mic, it can be difficult to know 100% what's going on with that voice. And with a voice so unique like this, it is so fascinating. It makes me want so much to be able to hear this voice without a mic, without anything in between, just live person, without any mic, to see what's going on there, because it is such a fascinating voice. So many really cool sounds going on here. You'll notice, is she doing these things that I'm talking about through all my videos? Yeah, you're seeing the upper tooth smile, you're seeing that jaw release. I would suspect that if we could tell what's going on with her breath, it's really nice and suspended. The airflow is really consistent, really, really exceptional. Even if you ignore her age, even if she was 10, 20, 30 years older, this is still a really exceptional performer here that we're seeing. But at her age, unbelievable. Really, really exceptional. Absolutely gorgeous. And again, not just because of her voice, because her performing, watching how nuanced and engaging her performance is, it's just so stunning. It is absolutely amazing. There are so many things to talk about with this voice. I'll be doing more of them because I want to keep exploring and listening to and determining what's going on with this voice. But I want you to try to think, if she's doing these things that all these other singers are doing, why do they sound so different? How can we identify them? How can we hear them on the radio and know, oh, that's so-and-so, or this is so-and-so? What is it that makes each voice unique and distinctive? What's interesting to me is as we get the voice working efficiently, as we get the balance of air coming through the vocal folds in balance with the pressure of the vocal folds coming together, we get that space open, we release tension. We figure out how to get all these different colors and sounds and get the voice working with the least amount of tension possible and have everything in balance. We actually do get a unique sound from each voice. And to me, that is what is so amazing and so fantastic. And what's so exciting as a teacher to be able to go in and uncover someone's voice and figure out what is the sound that this voice makes best. So I hope today you'll keep working towards that, keeping it to making the easiest sound you can hear while making your sound. Not the sound that you think you should sound like, not like someone else's sound, not trying to contrive it. Just what happens when you let that voice loose, sing easily. What is that sound that your voice makes? Especially as you're trying these things we're talking about, trying to keep it easy, relaxed, and comfortable. If you want a voice lesson, want a performance coaching, or me to work with you or your group to help you sing easier, perform at a consistently higher level, book a time with me at mrperformingartsstudio.com. I look forward to working with you online.